Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Timeless Gaming 2024. Let's hear you scream! We have got a fantastic day lined up for you. We got tons of gaming, tons of guests. Are you excited? I said, are you excited? Well, please give it up for your host, who's also introing himself. It's middle-aged gamer guy. Go wild! Brian! Let's go! That's high five. Let's go! Let's go! Go ahead! Let's go, people! Oh my God! Thank you, Adam. Oh my life! Hello, everybody! Oh my life! This is Timeless Gaming 2024. And this is our biggest event ever. And that is down to every single one of you that's here. It's amazing, so give yourselves a cheer. Okay, so please get up from Jules, everyone can.
Wow, okay. I can't believe I've been brought on to follow Magda. Right, yeah, so basically please come and have a chat with us today. I will have another colleague, but I will talk to everyone and anyone, as you will find out. We are the only organisation out there that has an active community of disabled gamers. We have just short of 500 people who come to game with us. We do hundreds of gaming sessions every year, every disability, every age. We're open to all, but we do need people's support. We can't do it for free. Someone's got to pay for the electricity and all the gaming equipment as well.
But okay, and that's how it's going to work. How are we doing for time?
You're late.
Good, right. Sorry, Jason. And he's going to. Plus, he's got his film Control AI Delete. Please welcome the one, the only Jason Bradbury!
Thank you very much. Wow, that was a lot less dramatic than I imagined it coming into the room. I thought I would be on a huge stage and then I would hover in on the Sinclair C5. Actually, the applause were much bigger than I anticipated. You guys and girls are absolutely incredible. Thank you so much. So yeah, I've come up from Cornwall this morning. It started out as a Tesla, but the build quality is so bad, it rattled apart on the M5, and this is all I've got left. Yeah, the old Sinclair C5, marvellous. If Elon Musk was ginger and dressed like a geography teacher. Yeah, and at the time, I remember I didn't have a Sinclair C5 at the time because that was kind of out of my price range back then in the 80s. I would have been 11 in 1980, so I was 16 in 1985. But as soon as I was able to afford one, I bought one. I've had the one that I just rode in. I know many of you can't really see it. It does work, but it's extra heavy when it's got the batteries in. So I didn't bring the batteries up with me from Cornwall. I cycled all the way. Because you can pedal it. It's basically a recumbent bicycle with a Hoover engine in it. Did you know that? And the PR at the time in 1985, when Sir Clive Sinclair released them, the PR said that it was in 2024, they're building a fusion reactor in Grimsby. I mean, how bonkers is that in terms of your dreams coming true? Anyway, back then, they thought, well, 1985, Universal, they're building this prototype. And they built it around could we make an AI TV presenter? So we made Robo Jace, and we connected into what was then a very rudimentary chatbot setup. And we put him in a stand-up comedy venue. And it was, the actual truth is, it was a complete disaster. It was embarrassingly bad, but it was very, very funny and very entertaining. But it kind of plays in to where I'm going now. Let me just jump up forward. Okay, so during my introduction from the amazing Paul, he mentioned that aside from all my other projects, my latest project, the one I'm most excited about, it's kind of the culmination of a lifelong dream is to make a film. So I studied film at Bristol University. I was on the same course as Simon Pegg and David Walliams. Can you believe that? They were my contemporaries. And we formed a comedy club with Dominic Diamond, who you might remember. So it was Dominic Diamond was the compere. Me and David Walliams were in a double act called Bunsen Burner. David Bunce and Riley Burner. That was the lineup. And Simon Pegg did a double act with a goldfish. And we also had a female stand-up called Myfanwy Moore. And you might remember Myfanwy from The Only Gay in the Village. That's where the name comes from. And Myfanwy went on to be the executive producer of Little Britain with David Walliams and Luke. And basically, we had a comedy club every Wednesday, I think it was, above a pub in Clifton in Bristol, and it was called David Icke and the Orphans of Jesus. And that was our comedy club. So I did a film and television degree at Bristol Uni, and I've always wanted to make a film. I've written a few scripts with a comedian friend of mine who you might get to see in a minute. And I tell you what happened. We wrote a film, actually. We wrote a movie about a bunch of losers from Lincoln, basically me and my mates in the 80s, who come up with an idea to train a bird to catch a ball in flight in a golf tournament and drop it in the hole, thus win a Bentley. It was called Pigeonholed. Get in. Beautiful. And we never got anywhere with it. We shopped it around Soho and no one was interested because it turns out that writing a script is just the beginning. Okay? There's a whole lot of other nonsense that you've got to do to actually get funding for a movie. And then we kind of didn't do much together for about 10 years. And my comedian mate, Mark, became very ill just after lockdown. Became really, really ill. He was in hospital. In fact, he almost died. And a couple of times a week, I would ring him up. He'd be in the hospital bed. And I said to him, mate, you've got to survive this. You've got to get better. If you come out of hospital, we'll write another movie. We'll get it done. And in the back of my mind, I'd always wanted to do something about the retro gaming community. I just think there's something special about these kinds of events, the kind of passion that we all have for, you know, the most specific niche stuff. And I felt there was something in that, a kind of warm community that I wanted to somehow put in a fictional context, right? Anyway, Mark got well. He got out of hospital. And true to our promise, we got together. And over about the course of a year, on Zoom, we wrote a movie. And the movie is called Control AI Delete. And I'll give you my kind of elevator pitch, which I'm told I've got to be able to do. So here goes, all right? So a global AI is rolled out, okay, in like 2025. And almost instantly, everything goes to shit. There's a global blackout. There's a run on the banks. Basically, nothing works. Anything connected to the AI just doesn't work, right? It's a kind of zeitgeisty, irreverent comment on kind of where we are right now, right? Now, at the same time, while these demonstrators are out on the streets demonstrating against the AI, and then it all gets a bit purgy and all, you know, sort of society breaks down, it all gets a bit scary out on the streets. The stock markets are in free fall. The transportation systems don't work. There's no food in the shops. It just so happens that the same weekend that all this goes down, a bunch of retro gamers are at their beloved retro gaming convention, not dissimilar to this, in Skegness. And while they're there, they start to work out that in the room full of 80s and 90s computers, ZX Spectrums with the 48K RAM pack, Commodore 64s, they might just have the only technology that they can use to hack the AI and fight back. That's the story behind Control AI Delete. We've done some test footage in an arcade down in Newquay in Cornwall, which is where I live, because I can't keep going up to Skegness, but the main production will happen in Skegness. There is a fictional arcade machine at the centre of the movie called Star Dash. This is our main character, Smit. His dad was the world champion speedrunner on Star Dash, and that gives you a little insight into where one of the storylines might go. And again, you can't see it that well here, but the Sinclair C5, the reason I came in on that is, look, I'm making a movie. It's about retro gaming. It's the only opportunity I'll ever have to have a Sinclair C5 as the main vehicle in the movie. So it's in there. And we spent some time. We spent one day. That's all I could afford. I bought a cinema lens for my Sony camera. an anamorphic lens, which if you're into movies from the 80s and 90s, you'll know is how you get that very specific 80s sort of soft focus, stretched image. In films like Blade Runner or Die Hard, that's why it gives that look. And so we've done some great stuff. And we're going to Kickstarter. We're going to Kickstarter in, I think, just over 2 weeks. I think it's about 2 weeks. August the 30th is when we start. And my son, who at the age of 14, amazingly, is stood there, just behaving himself. And Harrison, give us a wave. Can we sit? There he is. Give him a round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Bless him. He's come with his dad into a room full of people that he doesn't understand. A bunch of games he's never seen before. And he's here to help us spread the word. What we've got is a load of merchandise. It's really, really cool stuff. I'm wearing one of the items here and one of the items here too. We've got hoodies. We've got AI Stole My Job and all I got was this lousy t-shirt. We've got that up there. We've got some mugs. And if all you do today is go there, scan the barcode on the monitor where the poster is, it looks, you'll see the poster. That will give you the website, controlaidelete.net. Pop your email into there. It would just be so helpful to me. All it is me on the other end, just giving you updates once a week, all right? Or now it'll be maybe a couple a week, so that you can be notified when the Kickstarter goes live. And the Kickstarter has got some absolutely amazing perks and rewards on it. You can.
I never felt happy in my life. But it's not easy getting to that stage. I mean, when I first started streaming, I was on the floor. I was sat on the floor, and I was using a TV to stream. And now I have like a gaming channel, all that sort of thing. But in the beginning, the income, the irregular income and that sort of thing, I want to touch upon how you guys sort of circumvent that and what you guys have done to like supplement your income and the difficulties and challenges that you faced with that side of things. Sheila, I'm looking at you. Can you? I'm so sorry. Can you say?
I'll go first.
Yeah, you go first.
Working, I guess. Working is pretty much. I had a job as. How do I explain the job? It was like I can't even explain the job. Yeah, Wedhead. It was a part-time job I was working in terms of. Say again? Yeah, it was working events. It was almost commissioned part-time job is what I had on the side of gaming because it's quite an expensive venture, professional esports, I would say. It requires a lot of equipment. Like my PC costs $3,000. That's not $4,000. Sorry, it's not something that will come from nowhere. So it's working alongside it and also pursuing it is the smartest thing I think to do instead of dropping everything to do it. It's not everybody makes it, and that's something you have to understand before you go into this kind of job. But working hard at it will eventually pay off for you.
I got from my work, I put aside for trips and I put aside for my setup towards games. And then from there you kind of build up a portfolio because now I get like game codes because I would buy games, I'll play them for many hours and now the publishers reach out and give me codes for it. That's kind of how it works. So you kind of have to invest in yourself to invest for your future. And that's how it works.
So the question's about how to balance income and okay.
But yeah, basically, Debug is a print, physical, quarterly magazine about video games of the indie persuasion. Every issue we have 100 pages, high quality, about the best indie games available on the market. In addition to the magazine, we also do indie showcases where we show off a bunch of these games in real life to real people before they ship as a way to experience them early, and that also helps the developer
Test them.
to test them. Yeah, basically. So that's up on the top floor where the food is. Can't miss it. Definitely check that out. There's 15 games today, and 2 of the games are going to be showing their wares off right here, right now, in front of this screen. The first of which is Air of the Dog. So I'd like to introduce Tom Hardwidge.
Hello. Oh, blimey. I'll hold it slightly further away. Hi.
Tom.
So my name's Tom Hardwidge. I'll give you a little sort of brief potted history of
Yes.
kind of why on earth I'm here. I am a kind of marketing and advertising man by trade. When the COVID kind of lockdown hit in 2020, I, like many other people, ended up with a lot of time on my hands. So decided I was going to have a midlife crisis and start making point-and-click adventure games like the kind of LucasArts classic games like Monkey Island that I used to enjoy playing when I was a teenager, kind of growing up in the 90s. So this is Heir of the Dog. This is my second game. My first game was called Lucy Dreaming, and that released in 2020.
So in the meantime, I'll just explain a little bit. There is three type of characters we use. So the rogue, there's a knight, and shortly we'll see the mage. The game is a roguelike, retro style, PS1 graphics, that type of like nostalgia vibe. Basically, it's all the games that we grew up with.
These guys get asked the same questions day after day after day, but this is different. This is nice. This is real, and this hopefully is giving you the information that you want to have. The through line, the consistent thread that all those answers had, as cheesy as this sounds, is love. They loved what they do. And even if they started on something they thought, hey, this is popular, and then a few months in they're like, but I don't love it. Someone said, this is a dream job. It might not be your dream to play Roblox or Fortnite or Rocket League. If your dream is to play a random game that no one's heard of, and you play it and it turns out that you're pretty good at it, that's a YouTube channel right there. I've watched a guy finish Roller Coaster Tycoon.
Seeing other people having arguments or whatever it might be, how you portray yourself online is really important. And I think that's something that I've had to learn, and I'm still learning. I'm still picking things up, and I'm still trying to be the best version of myself online as I am in person as well. So I think it's a skill that I didn't realize I had to learn as a content creator, but I'm picking it up as I go along.
Are we back to going down the line now? Okay. I think the only thing that really I can think of in the moment, I had two people to think about, so I'm glad I didn't go first, but I can't beat your story either. But I think one thing that I really struggled with is like asking for things, and I feel like you have like stages in your content creation career, that's a mouthful, and you have to like figure out when is the right time to ask for things, whether it's game keys or products or pay. And now that I've done all those three things, I don't think I was ever prepared to be like, because I'm always, I don't know about anyone else, but I'm always like, hey, if I need this thing, I'll just go and get it myself. Like I hate to be like, hi, by the way, like, blah, blah, blah. But it's like, these brands and these companies and these people want you to use their products, use their like test their games, cover their games. But I think it's the right game, the right product for each creator personally. But I just hated asking for things. I had to learn how to be like, hi, like, I'm so-and-so, I do this. Like, I would like this to do this, or I would like that, so I can do this idea. But I feel like asking for things is definitely not something that it took me a good year or so to kind of get around to be confident. But I remember at first I was like, hi, can I have this please? And I was like, it's not gonna work, But I feel like that was definitely like a big thing for me.
So I'm like no computer whiz by any means, but when content was, and we were like vibing out in like the living room. My mum was like, "What the hell are you doing?" And I'm just dancing in the living room with this headset on, and she's like, "What is happening to the youth today?" And the more
when I started looking at the internet, this new thing that came up with a very huge PC that I had in the house.
Like, yeah, you should try it out. Tried it. I was like, "It's good." Took a few promotional shots of it, and then I'd have like displays on the background, and I was like.
This is the controller round. We all know what it was like when you go around your mate's house and you get given that horrible third-party controller. Well, this round is all about that. Each question, you're going to be able to get yourself 2 points. There was 10 questions in this, 2 points per one. What you've got to do is you've got to be looking at the controller and you've got to work out what system it's for. And an extra point if you actually get the name of the controller. Okay? Nice and simple. And I have photoshopped the controllers to take out all of the ABCs, XYZs, all that sort of stuff. So let's go with number 1. What is that called, and what system is it for? Obviously, don't shout out, but give us a little bit of noise if you think you know. Oh dear, oh dear. Obviously, you got a bit of a zoom in there. Yes, I have doctored out the name of it, which is right in the middle. And like I say, this first round is definitely the hardest. We'll move over to number 2. What system is that for? The name has been removed, and the buttoned, whatever they were, have been removed. Obviously, these are third-party controllers. Give me some noise, guys. Do we think we know? Do we think we know? Got a good idea on the system, at least? Potentially, potentially. Should we ready go over to number 3? What do you think it is, darling? The old Switch, yeah?
That is coming to Liverpool, and it's because of this man, Simran from Format, ladies and gents. The tease, what we do. So, some of you may have seen a social media post that went out a couple of days ago. We were here setting up, and we're going to tease a little something that we're working on, and I'm going to let Simran do the honours.
So this September, you might have seen that we're going to partner with the lovely Timeless Gaming Convention to do something very new, exclusive for Format Liverpool. We are going to be bringing you a taste of Timeless for the official after party of Format Liverpool on September 22nd, where this beautiful man will be bringing a mini condensed version of this fantastic event exclusively at Format Liverpool. So you're not only just getting one event, which is the UK's biggest games industry nightlife event, you're getting 2 events, all thanks to this lovely gentleman, and I can't wait to partner with him.
We nearly kissed him, exactly to feel the What a feel that beautiful tension. No, it's okay. Please welcome the one, the only, Ashens!
Hello. I'm going to stand here so you can't see the pictures. That's a good idea, isn't it? Hang on. That's better. Now, here's question number 1. Can you see the laser pointer? Did anybody bring a cat? Fine, we won't use the laser. No, that'll be fine. Second thing, a bit of admin. I met a man called John earlier. Are you here, John, with your tattoo? There you are. So, John has a tattoo of a certain thing from the Back to the Future films, a capacitor of flux, I believe it's called. I sent it to Barry. He said, nice Death Star tattoo. That is what he said verbatim, yeah. Was he joking? I don't know, it's Barry. Right, so today I will be presenting to you something called L'Arte della Pirateria, or The Art of Piracy. I'll be teaching you how to pirate Atari ST games. No, I won't. Today, I'm going to talk about the Italian copyright legislation for video games in the mid-1980s. There wasn't any. Right, pub, no. Right, hope you enjoyed that. Yep, no. So I'm obviously being facetious for comedic effect, but the fact remains there was no copyright legislation that covered video games in Italy in the mid-80s. Literally none. Now, the early days of video games were a bit of a wild west when it came to copyright in most countries, to be fair. Here in the UK, it was all about making unauthorized versions of existing games, usually arcade games. So, for instance, if you wanted to play Donkey Kong on your ZX Spectrum, you could choose between Ape Escape, Crazy Kong, Gorilla, Killer Kong, Kongy Kongo, Kong Crazy Kong, Wally Kong, and they're all basically rip-offs of Nintendo's Donkey Kong. And no, I don't think any of them were officially licensed. Basically, somebody just saw Donkey Kong in the arcades and made their own version of it, from memory usually, with varying degrees of success. That's a polite way of saying it, isn't it? Yeah. There was an official Donkey Kong port for the Spectrum, but somehow didn't come out until 1986. Work that one out. Anyway, so as an aside, right, did you know that the Spectrum had 2 rip-offs of the abysmal E.T. game for the Atari 2600? I didn't. I only knew of this one. You know, that 2600 game that they literally burned in a landfill. So you had ETX, which...
Well, I'm going to ask one quick question then, because obviously, whenever I speak to anyone about magazines or games, I am still always starstruck. And people always say to me, Paul, it's just a job. We get paid. You know, it just happens to be people enjoy, you know, playing what we've made or listen to what we made. So, first question I'm going to ask is, like, have you ever been starstruck by the people you've worked with or the people you've met?
Not starstruck, because when I met them, they were kids. So the 2 examples I would normally give is like Alex Evans, who he's one of the founders of Media Molecule. He invented Little Big Planet and all of those things. And when he came to us, he was a 15-year-old graphics coder who blew us away. Like him on the demo scene, if you ever check out any of his old demo stuff, he was absolutely incredible. And we were like, we've got to get this guy. And then, or people like Demis Hassabis, who is now worth, I don't know how many hundreds of millions, and is the king of AI and beating people at chess and Go. He was 13 when he showed up. So it was very hard to be starstruck by him. We knew he was special, and we knew that he was like whip smart, so clever. But you didn't have that kind of starstruck aura. But it's only through things like this when you get to meet up with other people. Like I can remember doing one of these revival things a while ago, and funnily enough, I brought my Rock Band kit up to the show, and there I was on stage playing Rock Band with Archer McLean and Sandy White. So, you know, Drop Zone and Ant Attack, and I'm there on stage playing Rock Band with these guys, and I'm like looking around like, wait, is this really happening? So that.
Demis was in my friend's lounge when we were talking about setting up Free Radical. I think he made the wrong decision, don't you? Who needs billions of pounds in AI and DeepMind? Anyway, starstruck. No, I don't think so, because the industry is made up of people who they're passionate and they want to do the best they can do, and I think. Well, the way we've always done it is we've learnt from people when we were, you know, young and sort of wanting to get into the industry and stuff. If you ever met someone at a trade show or a computer show or something, people were always there. Like Jeff Minter, for instance. I'd go up to him and go, you know, how do you do your stuff? And he'd give you 5 minutes. And if there are any people in the industry who are like, oh, you know, don't talk to me, then they're not. No, they don't last long, and they're not worth the time, because what you want people to, if people have got talent and people have got enthusiasm, you want them to, you want to work with them. So you know, I don't think it's not a place for egos, not in this country. And as far as
that's all right.
That I've seen. Yeah.
Oh, I love that one.
Yeah, mine's a bit more fanboyish, I guess. But I worked on the game Star Citizen for Cloud Imperium for a couple of years, and I wasn't. I was part of the audio team, but I wasn't one of the people that go into the motion capture sessions normally to like work with the actors and all that stuff. But the guy in the audio team who did all that stuff down in the motion capture sessions they would do was getting married, so I stood in for him for a few days. I was like 4 or 5 days down in London, and I really lucked out because those 4 days when we had Mark Hamill coming in to do all his motion capture.
Okay, that's quite cool.
I did a little cry in my mouth when I saw him. I just did a little.
That's a bit different, though, isn't it? Meeting Luke Skywalker.
But they said, because all the other guys on the team had already had stuff signed by him, and they were all kind of chill with him, but I was new to it. So I said, will he sign things? Is that all right? So I took down a side panel of my AT-AT, like Walker thing from Hoth. And I just, when there was a good break, it seemed like a good time, I got him to sign it, and he said, what am I signing here? And I'm like, it's just the side panel of an AT-AT. And he said, well, that's a good question. Is it AT-AT or AT-AT? And I said, oh, Jesus Christ. I was like, I've always said AT-AT. He's like, well, that's what I think. It just sounds nicer. And I thought, oh my God, I'm talking to Mark Hamill. Then I went one step too far and said, well, you should know, you took one down in a snow speeder. And he was just like, ugh. I just handed it back to me. So I ruined it. I ruined my best moment I could have had in my life. So,
Did you get him to do anything off the books? Like whenever you're doing like...
Obviously you're Team Rainer, and I have made it very clear I am Team Devil Sumo. Just go boss. Go boss, go boss.
Let's have a round of applause. We got Ollie.
Howdy, howdy, howdy.
We got Tim. How are you going? Right, we're going to get this ready.
Amazing, everybody, amazing. You're doing fantastic. It's been really fun to Irish Just Dance here today, I'm sure. You don't know what you've got yourself into. I've got friends with nothing left to do. I'm gonna make you,
I see you trying to climb in my roof. I guess it's a good thing no waterproof. I'm gonna make you move, I'll make you move. I'll make you move. I see you trying to climb in my roof. I guess it's a good thing no waterproof. I'm gonna make you move, I'll make you move. I'll make you move.
we're gonna freestyle something right now, because Mag is bang on right. Events like this are so important, not just to the community, but also to the gamers, the developers, the whole indie scene. And I think it would be very sad if we didn't take a moment to just thank Mag for what he's done today and in the lead up to today. I don't know if you realise how important this is to everyone here that doesn't get to be themselves all the time because of whatever society imposed. So I just want to say thank you very much for giving us a space, for bringing the community together. I'm so proud. I didn't even cry, not even one tear. What else? No, dehydrated, completely dehydrated, just crying sneak. But yeah, thank you, and thank you to your team, and thank you of course to Arcade Club for letting us host here. What an incredible venue, and everyone else for being here today. Thank you everybody. So, to the prizes. What we have done, very difficult decision, we have selected a second place winner and a first place winner, and then the plan is we will get all the cosplayers back on stage and you guys will pick the third place, yeah? Sound fair? Yeah. Good, because that's what we've done. It's too late now. I don't want to change my mind again. So, can we please have our second place winner getting this beautiful bundle from Techwear? We selected, drumroll, can anyone do a drumroll? I've got an MG. Thank you. Boo X to the stage, please! Absolutely loved your energy. Obviously your costume was perfect, but it was the contact lenses through all of us in multiple ways. So well done, thank you so much. Here are your beautiful prizes. If you could just loiter around here looking wonderful, that'd be great. And then first place, I think it's probably the first time I've ever been part of a competition where the first place has felt so obvious. Everyone was so impressed by the craftsmanship, by the performance. Hopefully you will all already have guessed who we might have picked, because it really was a beautiful costume and a beautiful display. So please can we have our first place winner, Sophitia, to the stage with their handmade weapons, armors and shield. Please come on through. Humble. Well, you do have to do the sexy pose again. Really were, honestly, the amount of effort you put into making not only the outfit, but the weapons to go with it. A little soul edge on the back there. It was very much appreciated. So very, very well done, very well deserved. You are our first place winner. So if you don't mind loitering around and helping us pick the third place, that would be wonderful. Is that okay? So if we can have all of our cosplayers back on the stage, please, or anyone that wants to come in the final round.
And I'm going to get on my little high horse for a second while I've got a chance, because I'm that passionate about gaming events that, as I say, I try and support. That's why we had Format here. We've had some of the team that do Knott's Video Game Expo, right? We try and support as many events. We shout out about WASD in London. These are people that put on independent gaming events, which mean lots to devs, people who play games, gaming fans, families who spend their days playing games and enjoying it. Everyone in here, because of you supporting those events, that's what makes gaming great again, and hopefully we can get things back on track. There's a lot of solo devs out there that count on us to put on events like this, which is amazing. And without each and one of your support being here, none of these events exist. So please, 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 keep supporting independent gaming events, because we love you and we want you to love the events we put on. Cheers. Thank you. I probably should have also, in that lovely speech, actually said my name's Mag. There you go. So, for those who didn't know who I was, I'm Mag. There you go.